Finding money for your Coke habit. So a lot of people think that you've got to be loaded to have a problem with Coke and drink. You haven't. What happens is you start to prioritize the things that are important less and less, and then you start to prioritize your addiction more, and that is more important to you than the other things. So whilst all my bills were always paid, my rent was always paid, council tax was always paid, I was doing things like paying less off my council tax to begin with. So I always wanted to be in credit, so I'd always pay quite a lot of council tax, and then when I was in my active addiction, I was paying less council tax. And in the same way, I would shop in like nice food shops. And then as my addiction grew and I started to do it more and more and more, and my money was tighter, I would shop in Aldi's or Lidl's, right? Which is nothing wrong with that, but that's what the sort of things I would be doing. And gradually, you just prioritize the important things less and less. So you don't all of a sudden have this like loads of money. And like, you know, for me, I didn't have loads of money. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have the money to do it. And now I'm out of it. I just don't know how I ever did it, because I don't feel like I'm any better off. But the reason I'm not feeling any better off is because now I prioritize the things that needed to be prioritized, like in the home. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I buy things like when I see a candle I like, or when I see a bit of furniture, or like an ornament or whatever. I would never have spent money on that kind of stuff before, because my habit had to come first. And whilst the kids didn't go without, they always had obviously clothes, uniform, toys, whatever, days out. The stuff like that I would go without was really important, because I would like prioritize Coke over buying myself new clothes. I would prioritize Coke over having a gym membership, over buying a bottle of perfume. And I'd look at a bottle of perfume and think, I ain't spending 50 quid on that. And then I would go to the cash point, get £50 out and go and buy a bag of Coke, right? Which would last me the night. And that was the mentality. Like, I didn't see there was anything wrong with that. Like, I was like, in my head, that was normal. That was normal behavior. It's only when you get out of it that you start to realize that, you know, your habits were really warped and your behaviors were warped, and it's not a normal thing to do. But yeah, you don't have to be loaded, guys. And in the same thing, in the same sentence, a lot of people think that when you're on Coke, you're going to be skinny as well. Like, I was my biggest on Coke, because I would go for days without eating, and then on the days where I wasn't using, I was binge eating. So I was ordering lots of takeaways, things like that, and I put on like 4 stone in overall, and during the time that I was using and drinking. And don't forget, you're consuming way more calories through alcohol than you would if you were drinking normally, because you can drink a lot more as well. So, you know, you're talking 1,000 calories for a bottle of vodka, and I could polish off one of them on my own easily. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, these are just little misconceptions people have got about Coke users and people that are in addiction, and I just thought it would be good to share.